If you're in your early 20s or in your 20s in general, give me 8 minutes and I'm going to explain to you why you need to move out of your hometown in order to change your life. If you're new here, guys, hi, my name is Nee. I spent my whole early 20s building businesses, failing hard, having successes, living the good life, living the broke life, getting a mentor, traveling around the country. And I'm here for the very first time on YouTube to share my experiences with you guys navigating my early 20s so you don't make the mistakes I did. There is a version of you that exists outside of everything that you've ever known, outside of the people who have shaped you, the routines that have defined you, and the expectations that have kept you small. You will never be able to meet this new version of yourself if you stay in the same place. Most people don't realize how much their environment actually dictates who they are. The same streets, the same people, the same conversations. It's like you're being trapped in a loop, repeating itself over and over again. If you've been on your personal development journey or your manifestation journey, you've been meditating, you've been journaling, doing all of that, you may feel like you're outgrowing your old self, but every time you step outside, you are reminded of who you used to be. When I moved out for the very first time at 22 years old, I was thrown completely in the deep end. I can still vividly remember the first 6 months of me moving out. It was so strange because I never really felt that connected with my hometown, but after I moved out, I became so attached and I started identifying myself as the XYZ girl, like the girl from New York, the girl from California. Every 3 weeks for those 6 months, I would fly back home to see my family, see my friends, and every time I would arrive in my hometown, it felt like everything was back to normal. But here's the thing, every single time that I went back, I slipped into old patterns without me even realizing. My mannerisms, the things that I would talk about, my habits. I used to wake up early in my new city and suddenly I would wake up so late, like at noon when I was in my hometown. Every time I returned back to my new city, I felt like I had to rebuild my new self all over again. That's when I realized your conscious mind, so through journaling, through affirmations, through meditations, it might want to change you so badly, but if your subconscious mind doesn't accept that it's going through this change, it identifies it as something that's unsafe, unintentional, and unexpected, it will not accept this new version of you. If you never step away from that old environment and what you know, you will always default to who you were conditioned to be. But when you remove yourself from that reality completely, physically, separate yourself from that environment that shaped your past self, you give your subconscious mind permission to rewrite your new reality, to rewrite your script. This is how you quantum leap into your highest timeline. This is how you break free from limiting beliefs that aren't even yours to begin with. When you move to a new city, in a new place, there is no history attached to you. You can wake up and decide to be a completely different person and no one would even question it. You can build new habits. You can decide to go to the gym. You can dye your hair blue. You can start wearing heels every day and no one would question it because you can create a life that truly aligns with your future rather than being pulled back by reminders from the past. This is the power of moving out, especially in your early 20s. For the first time in my life, I was truly alone in this new city. No one had expectations of me and who I was supposed to be. I could walk down the street with no mind at all and nobody would even think about the girl that I used to be. That was my greatest advantage in this new city because having this blank slate, it forces you to lock the fuck in. When you're alone in a new city, distractions disappear. You don't have familiar people. You don't have the comfort of falling back on what you've always known. Instead, you have the space to focus deeply and intensely on becoming the person that you've always wanted to be and do the things that you've always wanted to do. It wasn't truly until I fully settled into my new city and I truly planted my roots that I started to detach from this old reality. In my hometown, there was kind of like this unspoken pressure in every aspect of life. How much money you made, what car you drove, how many designer bags you have, what designer bags you have. It was like this endless cycle of like comparison and like silent flexing. But once I moved to this new place, I saw a completely different reality. One where people literally did not care about those things. When I first came to this new city, I always used to wear makeup, and I still wear makeup. That's just the standard I set for myself. But people would look at me funny. They would look at me like, girl, it's Monday afternoon. Why are you all jazzed up to go get a coffee? The real shift happened for me when I stopped pretending to be someone else. I stopped dressing a certain way just to blend in. I stopped having conversations that I didn't enjoy with people I didn't like. And I stopped trying to fit into this mold that I had already outgrown, because that was what people expected of me. And when I finally embraced who I actually was, that's when my life truly changed. And the best part, I attracted new people into my life that knew me for this new version of me. For me personally, I felt that it was quite painful to get rid of this old self, knowing that this old self couldn't take me to this new state, this new frequency. It was the self that was able to protect me, that was able to keep me safe, and was able to help me build my businesses. I had to realize that that old self, it operated out of anger. It operated out of fear and desperation. And that was not where my higher self would be acting from. If you have these bigger dreams and you actually want to quantum leap into your highest version of yourself, you have to learn to let that old version go. And when you do, you'll see your old life from an entirely new perspective. Now that I'm in my mid-20s, I literally have zero regrets for the decisions I made in my early 20s, all the sacrifices I made, the family birthdays I missed, the friends getaways I missed. There were definitely times when I felt major FOMO. But there is literally no better time than in your early 20s and in your 20s in general to fully and completely 100% invest your energy and your time into reinventing yourself when you have no commitments, you have no responsibilities like having children or having a mortgage, because that's not what people expect from you when you're in your early 20s. My life now, my personality, my network, my confidence, my freaking everything is completely different now that I have made this leap. So if you're still on the fence and thinking about whether you should make this move or not, staying the same in the same place, doing the same things, living the same life, that's the real risk. Because one day, sooner or later, you'll wake up and you'll realize that the years have passed and you're still the freaking same. Moving out forces you to face yourself, to take responsibility for your own life wholly and truly. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you'll be able to reap the rewards. This was a message that I wish I had when I was in my early 20s. So I hope this helps any one of you guys. If you're going through that same journey or about to make this huge commitment in your life, let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in my next video for part 2 of living your early 20s.